Welcome to the Quip Corner. As I said on April 1st, one of the things we're doing this month, in addition to featuring other authors, is celebrating some of the UN International Days. Today is World Intellectual Property Day. So I have a guest with whom we'll be discussing intellectual property. See you in a bit. Welcome to the Quip Corner.
Thanks for having me, Ada. I'm glad to be here.
I'm definitely very happy to have you in the Quip Corner. I'm sure some people already know that you and I are friends and we've known each other for years. But some other people will be like, who is that with Ada in the Quip Corner? So please introduce yourself to us.
Thanks, Ada. I am Dr. Chinyere, the Chief Executive Officer of Vantage Coaching and Consulting Services, and I'm a co-founder of the Authors Win Academy. I'm also an author, and I've authored quite a number of books, one of which is the backdrop behind me.
Well, thank you. I like how you're coming into the Quip Corner with a bang. So tell us a bit about the book in the backdrop behind you.
The book is titled Corporate Governance for Small and Medium-Sized Businesses in African Economies, and it was authored from the perspective that small businesses contribute immensely to our economy. However, we don't see them thrive beyond one generation. And so it's always a challenge for them to be successful, stable, and sustainable, which is why I put together this book to enable them get to that point where corporate governance is so simple for them, they can adopt it and they can be successful, stable, and sustainable.
Thank you. That's so reassuring to hear. And interestingly, today, April 26th, is World Intellectual Property Day. And I want to read something I found on their website because I'd like to know what you think about this. So their website says, every April 26th, we celebrate World Intellectual Property Day to learn about the role that intellectual property, IP, rights play in encouraging innovation and creativity. It goes on to say that every business starts with an idea. Each of the millions of small and medium-sized enterprises that operate across the globe every day started with an idea that took shape in someone's mind and made its way to the market. At a time when the imperative of economic recovery is high, I'm sure you would agree, knowing about the pandemic and the post-pandemic era, the World Intellectual Property Day 2021 shines a light on the critical role of SMEs in the economy and how they can use IP rights to build stronger, more competitive and resilient businesses. SMEs are the backbone of national economies, which you just said. They deliver goods and services we need every day. They hatch breakthrough innovations and inspiring creations, and they create jobs, some becoming the world-leading businesses of tomorrow. What do you think about that?
Well, that's reassuring, Ada. And I must commend the World Intellectual Property Organization for having this day to mark IP, but also shining the light on small businesses, because that indeed is something worth commending. One of the things I also looked at the website and I saw a bit their objective. It does describe the purpose. I will just read that out for you. It says, when nurtured and enriched with ingenuity, know-how, and flair, an idea becomes an IP asset. that can drive business development, economic recovery, and human progress. And this is what we need today, isn't it?
Yes.
Something that can drive economic recovery. But sadly, a lot of SMEs never get to that point. So they get to the point where you described earlier, an idea starts off with a small thought, a seed in the mind, and then it gets to the marketplace, right? But then it tends to stop there. It doesn't get to the point where they're able to manage their IP in such a way that their business continues to thrive in the foreseeable future. And that's what I try to teach in my book. I'll look at, it's okay to read a bit of the book so that you get a sense of what I'm describing.
Yes, please.
Okay. In chapter 10 of the book, I describe the 7 business capital model. And the 7 business capital model is really a way to help SMEs to build value and manage their value. Now, the term capital refers to anything that increases the ability of a business to create value for its customers, but also for other stakeholders, because that is the only way that the business can thrive. And one of the capitals, remember I said the 7 business capital model, one of the 7 capitals, which was introduced by the International Integrated Reporting Council, is the intellectual capital. And I'll read that off the book. It says that intellectual capital represents the intangible assets that provide a competitive advantage to an SME business. And one of the intellectual capitals is intellectual property, of course. SMEs should be astute regarding intellectual properties and exploring ways to secure these rights. Sometimes it doesn't take a lot of effort to manage and to secure the business IP, but in the long run, it adds value to everyone because you're able to sustain that value. And I get to encourage my clients, most SMEs, that there is a way to look at, to manage their stock of value, to manage their IP in such a manner that will add value in the foreseeable future. And that's what I get across to my clients.
Thank you for reading from your book to us, Dr. Chinyere. When you wrapped up, you said that these are some of the things that you help your clients understand. The title of your book says African Economies. Are you available to support SMEs in other parts of the world?
As a global consultant, I support SMEs in every part of the world to improve their business practices. And corporate governance is a very universal concept and can be adopted by businesses everywhere. Therefore, my services are available to small businesses across the globe.
Thank you. That's really good to hear. I know that some other people will be like, okay, it's good that her services are available to people all over the globe. And I'd like to read that book. How can people get a copy of your book?
The book Corporate Governance for Small and Medium-Sized Businesses in African Economies is available online on Amazon Bookstore. It's also available on Author House Bookstore online. It's available on Robin Heights online bookstore as well. And for those who want bulk orders or want autographed copies, they can send an email to almonabookcafe@gmail.com and we will get the book across to them.
Okay. Thank you for that information, Dr. Chinyere. One of the things we'll definitely do is put that email for autographed copies, at the bottom of this video. And of course, Amazon and the other online bookstores that people can get copies of your book. As we wrap this up, I wonder, what message do you have for people who just have an idea in their heads? And what message do you have for potential readers of your book?
Well, I would say that every idea is like a seed and can grow into a mighty tree once planted. You have to plant the idea, you have to do the work to plant the idea. And once you plant it, you have to nurture it. which is what the book tries to teach, is put structures in place to nurture that idea. If there are no structures in place, if you think about a farmland, if there are no fences or boundaries around it, then the farmland doesn't really exist because people will come in and scavenge the place. Therefore, as a business owner or a person with a business, a strong business idea, once you have structures, corporate governance structures in place, your idea is very likely to succeed. And in the longer term, it becomes a viable business and you can draw value from that intellectual property.
Thank you. Well, once again, I want to thank you for not just joining me in the Quip Corner, but joining me on this day that is World Intellectual Property Day.
I'm really glad to be here, Adan. Like I said at the beginning, I commend the work of the World Intellectual Property Organization. The floodlight today being on SMEs, for me, it's wow, it's heartwarming that now we're beginning to look at economic recovery and improvement in human services.
Thank you again. So what did you think about that? It was nice hearing from Dr. Chinyere about a book that focuses on small and medium-sized enterprises, not just in African economies, but around the world. It's good to know that she's available to coach SME owners or even people who just have the idea. We will add her contact details below this video, so feel free to reach out to her. I'm sure she will help you and support you to grow your business into one that is, did she say stable, successful, and sustainable? I may not have gotten the words in the right order, but you know what I mean. Right after this, you'll see the bio of our next guest. See you tomorrow. Bye now.